So there is something special about the use of Chinese medicine for the treatment of eye diseases, because in order to understand eye diseases fully, you need both the perspective of Chinese medicine and the perspective of science, because science has made huge strides in the understanding of how we see and why we see. On the other hand, Chinese medicine has got the more the wider approach, the connection with life. Now, I could say that I've been interested in optics, the physics of optics, since quite early childhood. Quite early on in life I was making lenses and making a camera obscura. I was interested in photography. When it came to do my A-levels, I was very interested in the science of optics. And indeed, this carried through into my university career when I studied physics. And from my teenage days, I remember a saying that my father said, because my father was also a scientist, and he said, it's quite possible that we could have discovered light even if we had been unable to see. It's quite possible that humans could have discovered that electromagnetic radiations exist, and that there's a frequency and wavelength corresponding to red, and a frequency and wavelength which we would correspond to blue. It's quite possible that we could have found out that this frequency, the blue frequency, was the colour of the sky, and that the red frequency was the colour of roses. But, he said, science could have never told us what the red colour was. Science could have never have told us the experience of a blue, of a deep blue. And so this is one of the mysteries, the difference between perception, what we as human beings experience, and what science tells us. And of course these two are complementary. And so we find no, science cannot tell us whether a rose is beautiful or not. It's got absolutely no way of telling us. It can tell us how to reproduce the colours in a rose, but it cannot tell us what we experience by a rose. And so you can see this in the treatment of eye diseases. You have these two factors. There's the physical side, the scientific side of the perception of light, the chemistry, the refractive index of the lens and the vitreous humour, for example. And on the other hand, there's the fact that if you are unhappy, you don't see so well. If there is something horrible that you're looking at all day long, eventually your eyes give out. And so in my practice, I try and combine the Western approach, try and combine the information which we can glean from the extraordinary advances which have been made in optics, with the age-old wisdom of Chinese medicine. And I particularly like Chinese medicine because it shows the connection between what's going on in a person's life and what's going on in their body. So it makes this connection between food and lifestyle and happiness and overwork and the joys and sorrows of life, what actually make a life. It makes this connection between that and any illnesses which might appear. And so I would encourage you all to study and to develop the confidence in treating eye conditions so that you can help many people.